Hello, in this tutorial, we are going to see how we can implement a Modbus TCP server or slave in Codesys on a soft PLC. So a soft PLC, a Windows Soft PLC is a Codesys control runtime that runs on a Windows machine. So in a previous video, we saw how you can install and set up the soft PLC. And we mentioned that it's a good tool to use if you're developing Codesys applications and you don't have the intended production PLC at hand. So it basically turns your computer into a PLC, and then you can develop your applications and test them, and then do all sorts of things. It can also run as a normal PLC if you have a very good hardware running Windows. Then you can install the runtime on that hardware, and then use that hardware as if it was a PLC and really run real industrial applications on that hardware. But in most cases, you want to use it because normal Windows PCs are not intended for such industrial applications. So it might not be so recommended to use a normal PC as an industrial controller. But if you really have an industrial grade or industrial specific hardware running Windows, then you can most definitely use that as a controller, industrial controller. And we saw how you can install this runtime and then use that hardware as a PLC. So in this video, we're just going to go over briefly how to set up the Modbus TCP server or slave using this Windows Soft PLC. And we shall be connecting to a master, and the master will be reading data from our slave. So let us start with that. I'll create a new project here. So I'll create a standard project. I'll call this soft Modbus TCP masters, for example. So it's Modbus TCP server, sorry. Select a location of your choice. So I'll select where I want to save this. I'll save that under soft PLC here. Then I'll click OK. On this page, I choose my controller or device. So we are using this soft PLC is running on our local machine here. So you can see the runtime here, Codesys control win v3. That is the runtime that represents that soft PLC. I select that. We are going to work in structured text. So I click OK. And then that should set up my project here. As you can see now, I have a project. I have the project at the top of the root here, or rather the top of the tree. Then I have my device here, which is the soft PLC. Then I have PLC logic and things of the kind going forward. Now, like we said, the soft PLC runs on your computer. So that means it shares the hardware. It's running on your computer hardware. So it shares all the peripherals that your computer or PC, local PC has to offer. So if we are setting up a Modbus TCP server or slave, then usually we attach that server onto an Ethernet adapter. So the first thing we want to do is to add an Ethernet adapter. So right click here on device. I'll go to add device, and then I want to add under Ethernet. So you can see we have a list of field buses. We shall see most of these as this series goes on. But you want to expand under Ethernet adapter here, and then you select Ethernet. You add that, and you'll see that it will be added here on your device tree here. You can configure that. Okay, before we go into configuration, we shall see that later, but let's first add the Modbus device. So right click on that adapter, go to add device, and then under Modbus, I expand that, and then under TCP slave, I expand that, and you'll see that all your Modbus slaves will be listed here. Now, the Codesys installation itself has kind of a generic Modbus TCP slave device, which you see here. But also other vendors usually develop their own devices, and then every time you install a new device, it will appear under this list. So you can see that now I have two devices. I have this Modbus TCP slave device from Turk. Then I have also this Modbus TCP server device from Codesys. So like I said, sometimes it's called slave, sometimes it's called server. So here Codesys is using the term server, but then Turk used the term slave, but it's almost the same thing. So here the choice of using one depends on you, but usually the generic device is always enough. Remember also that to use the generic device in production or to use it for a longer period, you need a Codesys license, runtime license. But if you don't have a license, then you can always use the trial license that comes by default. The trial license runs for 2 hours, then it will expire. Then you have to restart the whole thing, restart your runtime again if you want to use another 2 hours, and then you just keep on restarting or renewing. It has no limit whatsoever. But then just know that it just operates for 2 hours and then it expires, and then you have to renew it again to use it going forward. So I can use this field device in that kind of trial environment without any issues. So I'll go ahead and add that to my device tree here. Then after adding that, then I can close this. Then I have now to configure my device. So double click on that, and you have a few configurations that you have to go through in order to configure your slave device. First of all, the port number. So this is TCP, so it's TCP over Ethernet. So you need port number there. Usually I leave this by default as 502. Then you need to configure how many holding registers you have, how many input registers you have. Do you need coils? Do you need discrete inputs? So you configure all that. If you need coils as well, then you can select this option here, and then you can set how many coils you need, or how many discrete inputs you need. So remember, there are 4 register categories, register groups under Modbus protocol. You have the holding registers, those are read-write. Input registers, those are read-only. Coils are also read-write, and then discrete inputs are read-only. So those are the 4 categories that we have under Modbus. So after configuring everything as you want it to be, the holding registers are not writable by the server or slave by default. But if you want to make them writable by the slave, then you check this tick here as well. And then after that, now here you can do your mappings. So you can see we have 10 holding registers, 10 input registers. We have 10 coils, or rather, 10 coils that would occupy two 8-bit registers there. So as you can see, from bit 0 to bit 7, and then from bit 0 to bit 1. So that completes the 10 coils that we have. And then under discrete inputs, is the same case, we need only 2 8-bit or 1 byte for each of those. So you can see all those as well. So here, now you have your registers. You can do the mapping actually, so we can do that as well. So I'll go in here in my main program unit here, and then I'll declare a few buffers. I'll declare a buffer for holding registers. So I'll call it holding reg. And that is, so we have 16 of those, and they're of type word. So if we come back here, you'll see that, rather I have 10 of those, and they're of type word. So that means I can use an array of word of size 10, and that should cover that. So I'll say this is array from 0 to 9 of word, like that. And then I can declare another buffer for the input registers. So I'll call this IR reg. It's also, there are also 10 of those, and they're of type word, so I'll keep the array with the same size. And then for the discrete inputs, remember we say those cover 2 bytes. So I'll declare an array of 2 bytes. So I'll say the discrete inputs underscore reg. That is an array from 0 to 1 of byte. And then for the coils as well, I'll do the same thing. Okay, this one didn't turn out well, but I can correct that quite fast. And then for the coils, I'll call this C underscore reg. They're also an array of 2 bytes, so covering the 10 coils here, 10 discrete inputs here. And after declaring those, now I can save, and then I can go ahead and map those here. So I'll first map the holding registers. So double click on that and then browse. Go under application, PLC PRG, and then I need that buffer, which is this one here. Same thing for the discrete inputs, double click there, browse, then, sorry. So first I map the holding registers. Now here I'm mapping the input registers. And then I can also do the same thing for the coils. So double click on that. I'll pull this up like this. So double click on that and then browse for our buffer for the coils, and then same thing for the discrete inputs. And now I've finished my mapping there. Confirm your task, set the task cycle time that you want, set the type as well and everything. So that should do it for us. Now this is, my server is now ready. I've configured it here. I've set my registers that I need. I've set the mappings as well. Now I can go ahead and upload this to my controller there, my soft PLC. To do that, I'll double click. First of all, you need to confirm that your controller is running. Remember, we said it runs for 2 hours, then it will stop. To use it again, you need to restart the runtime again. And to do that, you go under your icons tray. And remember, we said in the previous video that you need to have these 2 icons run here in the icons tray. The gateway is running, is most of the time it's always running, doesn't stop. But this is our soft PLC here, which runs for 2 hours and then it will stop. So for us to use it again, we need to start it again. So I'll right click on that and then say start PLC. And then now, if I double click on my device, come under scan network here, I'll be able to find it here. So you can see it has the same name as my computer there. So click OK. Now I need to enter this device management account, username and password. So here it is soft PLC and then the password as well. Okay, there we are. Now we are connected to our device. Now we can go ahead and configure also our Ethernet interface here. Now we can go ahead and configure our Ethernet interface as well. So I'll double click on that and you can see the Ethernet interface. It has a few parameters here, but what we're interested in is this network. We need to select an adapter through which we will connect to our server here or slave device here. So if you click browse here, remember we said the soft PLC runs on your local machine. That means it runs on your computer's hardware. That means it shares all the peripherals and adapters that your computer has. So as you can see here, you can see all the adapters that Ethernet adapters or network adapters that are available on this computer that I'm running on. Now I need to select an adapter that can be accessed via the network so that any device on the network can be able to access my server here. So I'm very confident that this Wi-Fi adapter here is connected on the wider network. So that means that if I select this as my adapter for this Ethernet interface, then any device on the network will be able to connect to my device or to my soft PLC or to my Modbus server over the network. So I want to select this here. You should select the adapter that connects to the network that you're interested in. For example, if I wanted if my device was on another network which is connected to this adapter, then I would select this adapter here. But I know this Wi-Fi adapter is the one that is connected to my network of interest, so I need to select that. You can see the IP address here is 192.168.1.34. Click OK, and now I've configured my, you can see the IP address here, the subnet mask, and the default gateway. So select the adapter that connects to the network you're interested in, so that all the devices on that network can now, or any device on that network can connect to your Ethernet interface here and therefore connect to your Modbus TCP server or slave device. Okay, that is done now. I'll go ahead and select it again. And now I can go ahead and upload my program. Remember, we connected to our device here. Now to connect or to upload our application, we just use this login button here. Click yes to create a new application. Application has loaded, and then now we can click run here to start our application. And you can see now the application is running. This orange circle means that there is no device now yet connected to this server. So no device is reading data or writing data to the registers here of this Modbus TCP device. So I'll show you that after we connect, this orange icon will turn to green. So it will indicate that a device has connected to this server here. So let's go ahead and try to connect to this device. For a Modbus master or client, I'll be using this Modbus master simulator. So it simulates a master device, and you can use it to connect to your slave device. So the first thing that I need to configure is the slave communication properties, namely the port and the IP address. So remember, we have our IP address here, 192.168.1.34. So we should go ahead and configure that. So 192.168. Then the port 502, as you saw earlier on, so that will remain. Click OK. And now here I choose what I want to do. So we shall first put some data in our registers here in the buffer. For example, in the input register, I'll put some data here, 25, 30, and maybe 100. So register number at index 0 will have value. Oh, okay, I wanted to write this instead of forcing our first and false, and then write them again. Yeah, like that. So register index 0 has 25, register index 1 has 30, and then register index 2 has 100. I can also add 200 here so that I can make those. For registers, now I want to read input register, and I'll read up to 10 or the 10, but then the first 4 should have these same values here. So I'll pull up my master here. So I'll select what action that I want to do. First, I select the mod. Then I want to read input registers. Then I want to read 10 of those, and then I want to start from index 0 or address 0, like that. Then I'll just connect first. So you see, when I click connect, that orange turns to green. That means that there is connection, and then I can start reading data. And you can see that we have the same data as expected here. And change this to 1,000, for example, and it should reflect right away. So there, and then that's 100 or 1,000. I can also attempt to write holding registers, for example. So I'll say write Modbus registers starting from 0. And I want to write 10 as well. And then connect first. And then we should be observing what happens. So because I'm writing holding registers now, I can write that to 100, for example. There you have 100, 20, 30, 50. So there you have it. Server is set up correctly. I can read data. I can also write data to the server. And everything is running on my local machine. My machine on my PC is working as a PLC. And I can set up field-based communication with any device. For example, here, Modbus TCP, which is over Ethernet. I can connect to any device as long as it's on the network, and everything is working correctly. So this is quite a handy tool to use to develop your applications, test your applications, and develop your applications as you wish. Okay, so that is it for this tutorial, how to set up Modbus TCP server on a soft PLC, called soft controller. Thank you and have a nice day.